Hi guys, Professor Phil, Comic Book University. Might have got me beatboxing a little bit there, waiting for this thing to load. My thing updated, so it's like, durr, come on now. Anyway, what's up, y'all? So, what do we got here? We got Mark Guerrero. What's going on? Comic Boom. Aaron, welcome to the channel, brother. What else we got here? PA Stewart, what's up, Paul? Who else is up here? Victor! What's up, Victor? Lewis, what's going on, man? Oh, of course. Oh, jeez. You know, I meant to change the shirt. I've been wearing this for 2 days. Should probably change it. Prez Vexter. Hey, Sean, what's up, dude? Logan Jericho. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Raven, how you doing? Kaloy's Comics. What's going on? Welcome all to the channel. Hey, Joe Fisher. So let me start with checking out some of the stuff here. Oh, first off, yeah, dude, Blind Spot. I know there's a bunch of Blind Spot fans who are reading Charles Soule's Daredevil right now. Dude, there's a good chance that Charles Soule is hinting that Blind Spot may very well appear in Season 2 of Iron Fist, which should be out in like 2 weeks. Yeah, how sick is that? That's awesome. So, a little bit of Blind Spot. That would be very cool. I'd be down for that. So, at the moment, which company do you believe is producing more high-quality comics, DC or Marvel? Well, Mark Guerrero, I am reading a lot more Marvel comics. DC is, they're still kind of switching some things, and there's a couple things that they're trying to work out and not quite working out. Plus, one of the things that I've been thinking about recently is DC's attempt to put out the new age of heroes, you know, like Damage, and like Damage Annual #1 was amazing, absurd. They had no right being that damn good. It was good though. But I remember a lot of people, I don't know about attacked me. Usually someone's not putting their hands on me. It's hard to say it's an attack, but you know, lesser people would say, "Oh, I got attacked." Anyway, what do you call it? I think that really quick before I get into that, a lot of people have said, you know, when I made, you know, comments about Damage, it's like, dude, it's just the Hulk. It's a very crappy version of the Hulk. They're trying to make the Hulk, but they're not doing it as good as they want to be. And people say, no, he's very different from the Hulk, and they start giving examples. But I'd actually try to respond to those kinds of comments for a while before I learned that was just silly. Like, no, all of these things that you're talking about already exist in other Hulks. You need to understand there's not just one Hulk in the comic books. You know what I'm saying? In the Marvel Comics, there's lots of Hulks. So, you know, like there's the second version of the Red Hulk, General Maverick. He's got the Hour of Power thing, just like, you know, him over there. So, yeah, once every 24 hours, he can turn into the Hulk for one whole entire hour. And then you got the Savage Hulk, who's savage like him, and then, you know, they can communicate back and forth, like with Joe Fixit. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's all sorts of different Hulks. They're just taking little bits and pieces from all these different Hulks. No, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know comics. I don't know comics? Really? I run Comic Book University. It's not just a name. It is kind of just a name. But all these attacks, and then all of a sudden, freaking Diversity Comics goes and says, oh, yeah, it's basically just the Hulk. It's exactly like the Hulk. It's basically the Hulk. It's DC's version of the Hulk. Suddenly I didn't get those comments anymore. It's like, oh, your master has spoken. I understand now. So, what do you call it? Yeah, that's just a funny thing. But I think that so many people choosing DC Comics over Marvel because, you know, SJW Marvel and all that nonsense. So people were, those specific people were saying, DC Comics is the best, DC Comics is so much better, everything DC puts out is gold, everything Marvel puts out is SJW trash. I hate that word trash. I hate that word trash. Some of you guys might have noticed I ignore your comments when you use the word trash for a comic book. Sorry. Sounds too much like these people, and I'm not interested in those people. So, yeah, I'm kind of trying to weed those kinds of people off of my Facebook. One particular twit on my Twitter who just hasn't figured it out yet. Thinks he's so smart. I'm ignoring you. I'm trying not to just block you, but you're amusing. So, anyway, So too many people saying, "Oh, DC comic, this is a great comic, and this is a great comic, and this is a great comic." Comics that aren't really that great, and I think that's really confused DC, and they start thinking that oh well, our comics are really good right now. We got a lot of people saying that they're good. The problem is it's not reflected in the sales, because like I'll get people to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, man, comic books are great. I love the comic book that you're talking about." Blah 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 blah. But then I come to find out through some admission on their own that they're not actually buying the comic books. They're getting them digitally, which is really sad. That kills me because that's killing the industry. It's funny because you'll get like Diversity in Comics and other jackasses who will sit there and blah, 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 and talk their game about what's destroying the comic book industry. Marvel is clearly not destroying the comic book industry. What's destroying the comic book industry is people who are reading the comic books but not buying the comic books. Imagine that. Imagine that. But that's what happens when you use false equivalencies and other forms of logical fallacies in your arguments, because you're an entertainment channel as opposed to an actual information channel. And of course I'm using entertainment in quotes because they'll say entertainment, it's really trolling. So that's actually what's destroying the industry. You know what I'm saying? That's what's killing the industry. Say what you want. People who aren't qualified to write comics. I'm sorry, really quick. How many comic books have you written? How many ultimate bestsellers have you gotten? I don't give a rat's ass about an Indiegogo campaign by a bunch of slave-minded trolls who follow you. What have you actually contributed to the comic book industry? Oh, wait, you don't own a comic book industry. You don't make money off of comic books as a living. You have no idea what it means to be a contributor to an actual comic book company, to work under a schedule, to work with peers. In collaborations. And like, dude, I actually, since I don't act like a jackass to these people, to the comic book pros, as they call them, I actually get to talk to these people. I actually get to have regular conversations with these people, which I think is kind of cool. And I get to learn even more about what it means to, run a comic book. I actually know people who do make their own comic books, like T.O. Comics, right here in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know those people. That guy, the main guy there, was actually one of my first followers on Twitter when I didn't have any followers. You know what I'm saying? He was one of my very first ones, just looking through my list today. And he'll sit there and tell you, dude, the comic book process is actually like this, and go on and on and on. And I know lots of people actually make comic books and have to stick to a schedule. Yeah, so these people say, these people are qualified. No, you know why they're qualified? Because they're hired by comic book professionals who have the authority to hire people. Some jackass saying, these are people without qualifications. One day, you're going to hear this really loud noise. It's going to sound like this. Except amplified, multitudinous amounts. And that's going to be the sound of your head coming out of your ass. Those will be one of the days that after you've actually washed your hair and washed your face, you will actually join the ranks of humanity. And then you can actually shut your mouth, stifle, and actually learn something. Because nobody learns with their mouth. Yep, yapping. I just did Mr. Jip, 10 Things About Mr. Jip. That little guy, Yip Yap, that he created. That's these guys. Yip. So, right now, Marvel is producing better comic books. But you got to also understand, for a while, Marvel was not producing better comic books. They were doing what it was commonly called the SJW thing. In other words, trying to create new characters and trying to do everything they can to create new characters. It was not the best way to do it. It was okay if they would have done it with just a couple of characters, but when they just started saying, let's do all of our characters like that, it was a little bit too much. But they were trying. The idea is that they were playing the long game. The long game, so much as you don't just want to appeal to white, male, like just, all the silly typical tropes and whatnot. You don't want to keep serving the same demographic only. Those characters are still there. Those people with the simple minds who want to, who don't want their characters to change, their characters are still there. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that's always happened. in the history of comic books. They're still there, but they're trying to expand to other people. They're trying to expand to other demographics, to women. Right now, more women are reading Marvel Comics than any other comic company that's out there. Why do you think that is? You know what I'm saying? You're getting more diverse people reading Marvel Comics right now than anybody else. Marvel sales are increasing, and mind you, I'm the first one to say you can't just go by sales. A simple-minded buffoon only goes by sales. Sales is more of a direct reference to a reflection of marketing as opposed to how much people like things. If I don't know that there's a new comic book character out there, but I'm one of the people who I take it upon myself to introduce people to new characters. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's a reflection of me not doing a good job. But the idea is that with people like me, influencers, other people with YouTube channels and other forms of communication to introduce these new superhero comics, because the only way that Marvel and DC actually do advertisement is within the pages of their own comic books. So if you're not reading comic books, you have no idea that there's actually other than just Superman and Captain America and Spider-Man and Batman and, you know, those guys. You don't realize that there's a Kamala Khan out there. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize that there are all these other characters out there. A gay Iceman, all of a sudden, you know, where it's like, oh, wait a second, hold on. There's a character for me? And, you know, people actually go and they'll check those characters out. So, yeah, that's why I take it upon myself to do things like that. But in the meantime, Marvel was playing the long game, and boom, look at what it did. It worked out for them. Their sales are now increasing. They can very easily put those characters back to where they needed to be. And now there's more characters for more people to come and read and check out. Therefore, more fodder for movies, you know? DC got that idea also, and they're like, oh, new age of heroes, man, new age of heroes, so let's do it, let's start, boom. And dude, Silencer is one of my favorite characters right now. I love Silencer. Please buy the Silencer comic books so that we can try and keep her in her own solo series, because oh my god, you know. But DC is figuring that out. Hey, we got to start making new characters, because Marvel has almost consistently tried to make new characters, you know? DC hasn't. They've always been sticking with the same characters over and over, ad nauseum, you know, to redundancy. So making new characters is crucial for getting a new audience. And it's not just the idea of, oh, well, let's make a Black Flash character, let's make a Black Green Lantern character, and let's make, you know, like, just, you know, keep on throwing them into... No, we actually want new characters who can do different things, not just different personalities wielding the same powers. You know, you dig? So, yeah, right now Marvel is killing it. And DC has already picked up on the idea. You're going to need to wait another year to see those sales actually start to pick up, because it's this amount of time in order to get people to come into the comic books. That's just the way that the game works. It takes time. Let's see what else. Aaron, hey, a question from a non-English speaker. So I buy comics? Cool. Key term right there. He buys comics. But those are volumes collections. Okay, it's trade paperbacks, not regular comic books. Only one issue. So I wonder how you can bear the publicity between the pages. Oh, geez. Yeah, I know, right? All the advertisements, or if you're British, the advertisements for all the the pages in between with the, you know, oh, check out this new comic book. Oh, check out the soundtrack for all these TV shows. Check out this, check out that. Yeah, I know. Oh, and the worst one ever, the 2-page splash spread. Bendis is coming. Bendis is here. You're obnoxious. Oh my God, I couldn't stand those. But it is kind of annoying, because you're sitting there, you're getting into it. Oh yeah, cool. And all of a sudden, what is this? I don't want this advertisement. Turn the page. Where's my page? Where's the story? Oh, there it is. Oh, yes. Because, you know, when I get a big comic book, I'm expecting that all of this is going to be story, but it's not. You got to take this much out because there's advertisements there. Yeah, I know. It gets annoying. It is what it is, though. And again, how else are they going to advertise the new stuff? And sometimes you will see good stuff in there. And don't forget to read the back page, especially in the DC comics. Marvel doesn't really do it so much, but DC Image does it, yes. I think Dynamite does it, but a bunch of people will do it where they'll have like an interview with the artist, or an interview with the writer, or an interview with an editor, you know? They'll do things like that. So Those are always especially fun for me, reading those. That's how you get your spoilers, your updates for what's coming up next. Let's keep going. What else we get? Yeah. Oh, wow, there's a big jump. I see Brevin Campbell's here. What's up? Red Black Cane. Oh my God, you're on time? Unbelievable. Caleb Latigua. I'm just used to seeing Caleb, but what's that? Let's see. Okay, what else we got here? Levi Butler. Oh, and I got like flash there. So let's see what else. Oh, come on. Okay, it jumped. Logan Jericho. Wow, I like that name. Too bad you've been redacted somehow. Retracted. Conan Creative Team. Ooh, yeah. Oh, Henry Pierce. What's going on? And anybody else I'm missing? Sorry if I'm missing people. I'm trying to get to everybody. Hype for Iron Fist Season 2. Oh, yeah. Do you think Marvel will let Punisher kill any other A-list villains? That would be impressive if he did indeed. That would be pretty impressive. I think that, especially since he's going after Hydra right now, I think at one point he is going to wind up killing Baron Zemo, but killing, I think that they're going to use an LMD at one point, which I think would be perfect. The life model decoy, I think that'd be great. Like, he kills him, and then all of a sudden, sometime in the future, you see a Luger, you know what I'm saying, or right up to Punisher's skull from behind, and it turns out it's Zemo. Like, how sick would that be? Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing something like that if he does kill some more A-listers. That would be cool. Is there any good Image comic characters other than Spawn? Right off the bat, I can't think of anything. I usually like Image for their new stuff that they come out, the new characters they just kind of throw out there. Yeah, I see Henry Pierce is pointing out older characters from Image. Image has a bunch of new stuff too. But yeah, those were, like, Youngblood was it, man. People went crazy over Youngblood back in the day. So, Joe Fisher, I don't know if you heard that new Marvel Legends line with Magic and is also said to have Moonstar. Whoa, Moonstar? Okay, sweet, sexy, awesome. I'm sold. Ooh, what's going to be the Build-A-Figure? Will it be the Demon Bear? Because that would be sexy. Yes, I'm down. I'm totally down. I love me some Moonstar. I'll definitely get Magic also. Like, I just got Colossus up here. I got Storm also with the Mohawk. But yeah, I got Colossus. I'm really happy about that. You guys can see. Yes, you guys can see Colossus right here. So, yes, awesome. I definitely want me some Moonstar. They said Batgirl is SJW. They need to grow up. They need to just shut their friggin' mouths and grow up. But realistically, it's fun seeing these morons talk all the time. I was reading some of the things that, because what's his name? Tony Isabella. He actually writes a lot. He puts out a lot of stuff. And he was talking about somebody linked a comic book to him. It was Avengers, West Coast Avengers issue number 1, which just came out. And he's like, I don't go looking for these things. They appear in my feed. So somebody linked him, apparently, a review for West Coast Avengers from some nameless jackass. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm an idiot. I'm a retard. Let me talk with my fat stubby fingers and act like I'm actually tough. So, and all of a sudden, here comes Professor Bill. Shut up in your face! With the flash pimp slap. Yes! Anyway, keep your pimp hand strong. So, anyway, this moron, and by moron, I'm actually quoting Tony Isabella. He said it. So when I say this freaking moron, I'm just, enunciating a little bit. But the idea is that, this moron decided to try and... I told you got to keep on trying new things. One of these days they'll be out there with a wood chipper, putting comic books in a wood chipper. I probably just gave them ideas. Hopefully they actually put their hand in too far and gnaw off their hands or their whole arm. Somebody hope that I get... Yes, you effing snowflake. I hope that you have your freaking arm chopped off in a freaking snowblower. It could be a wood chipper, a lawnmower. It could be a vacuum cleaner while you're trying to get busy with it. I don't care because you're stupid. And the human race needs to be culled of people like you freaking snowflake. So yeah, I have no problem with that nonsense. You threatened me with violence. Yeah, Yeah. I really hope that something violent and dangerous happens to you. Anyway, snowflakes. But the most hurt people in the world with their projections. Always projecting on someone else. So, he's just like, this moron decided to try and cut the comic book with a knife. I stopped reading because I was really hoping that he was doing it live and that he'd like cut his hand or something like that. I just saw this movie called The Package where somebody goes and cuts off his own pecker because he was like really stoned or really drunk or whatever, and he cut off his pecker, and his friends had to try and get the pecker back to him when he got medevaced away. Really stupid movie, and I was bored, and my wife and I were just like, let's just watch this ridiculously stupid movie, and it was great. Anyway, so I'm like, ooh, maybe he put it through his hand because he's a freaking moron, because he's got to try something new, got to keep it on edge. We're going to keep on destroying comic books, but we got to find new ways to do it. So it was funny enough seeing Diversity in Comics at a gym one time ripping a comic book, and he was having a hard time doing it. I'm sorry, is there anything more perfect than that? A guy who's talking about, I was a Marine, and I'm in a gym working out, and I'm going to rip this comic book, and I'm having a hard time. I'm struggling with this right now. That's what video editing is for, dude, because you are just so weak. It's a comic book. It's not even a phone book, dude. So here's this guy with a knife. And I'm sorry, does this moron not know how to... That's Tony Isabella's words, not mine. Does this moron not know how to sharpen a knife? And it's very hard to dull the tip of a knife. You'd have to be like throwing it at trees or dropping it on the ground in order to really ruin the tip of a knife. And he's trying to put the knife through it, and he's struggling. And when he finally does it, and throws it. You can tell he was trying to act like, muscle man after he just struggled to put a knife, not through a piece of metal, not through like a stop sign or something like that, but through a comic book. It wasn't like a double-sized issue or a trade paperback. No, it was a standard comic book. And he was having a hard time putting the knife through the comic book. When you want to talk about entertaining, that was entertaining. But I think it was for all the wrong reasons that the moron wanted it to be. Come on, man. It's a knife and it's a comic book. I mean, it's like, when does the butter give the butter knife a hard time? You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. Bunch of weak-spined, yellow-bellied, sap-sucking losers. Absolute losers. So, and now, weak losers. Confirmed by their own videos. Confirmed. Weak losers. Let's go do a push-up contest, you bunch of little punks. I'll keep my pan strong. Wah! So, Billy the Billion doesn't tell me what happened. What? Oh, yeah, you read them a week late. It's all right there, Red Black Can. We still love you, man. Yeah, I'm guilty of this, but I don't read comics at all outside of Free Comic Book Day. Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere, Victor. And plus, I'll bet you'll be reading that Juggernaut comic book when it comes out. Caleb, D, and C are literal jackasses, and I'm no SJW at all. Yeah, Tony Isabella calls himself an SJW. Just have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just reading his Shadow War of Hawkman, and like I was just rereading it. I read the Shadow War of Hawkman 4-issue miniseries earlier in the month, and now I'm reading it again. I just got finished reading it again, plus the 2 issues that come afterwards, and I started the 3rd issue that comes after it in the storyline. And I'm just looking, and it's like, dude, yeah, he was, like, this was back in 1985. He's the guy who created Black Lightning, for crying out loud. He's always been about trying to keep diversity. He understood that very simple premise of keep diversity and insert as much diversity as you possibly can in the comic books. Marvel was already taking care of business. You know what I'm saying? So now he was trying to do that for DC. DC specifically asked him, could you come over and help me out? And go check out my, Black Lightning Explained in a Minute video. It's an older video. Deal with the fact that it's an older video, please. But go back and look at that and laugh your ass off about the Mad Bomber. Go check out Black Lightning Explained in a Minute on Comic Book University and laugh about the Mad Bomber. It's hysterical. Okay. Let's see. Are you going to Fan Expo? James Peck, what's up? I believe I am going to Fan Expo only on Thursday. It's a really, like, my wife loves Fan Expo more than I do. I don't do well with crowds. Like, I don't freak out, but I find that most people who served in the military have a problem with crowds. But anyway, yeah, just I don't know. Like, it's one thing to be in there, but like when there's just too many people and it starts to get hot because it's just me and people aren't moving, it starts to get a little frustrating for me, and I don't feel like I'm really me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, not entirely. So I think I'm just going on Thursday because Mike Mayhew has an interview scheduled with me. So I'm going to be talking about him doing a private cover for a Fantastic Four #1 cover for my local comic book store. And what do you call it? They want me to interview him and, just have a good conversation and everything with him. So cool, I'll be doing that. And then I'll probably swing by and try and see some cool people who might be there on a Thursday. But as far as the other days, like, my wife loves the idea of dressing up and doing things like that. There's only her second year that she would have done it. Like, last year we went as a bunch of Star Wars characters. I went as Obi-Wan. No, actually, I went as Qui-Gon Jinn. My wife went as Padme. My oldest son went as Darth Vader. My youngest son went in one of those pilot suits. You know what I'm saying? The orange red Rogue One pilot suits. So yeah, we did all that stuff, and they liked it, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Plus the kids got tired quick, and the kids are really young. So, like, you got to got to switch them in the stroller, once in a while. And we just got rid of our stroller recently, so that would be a lot of work, dude. And try pushing around a stroller. Like, you can't use the regular escalators anymore. Now you have to use the elevators, and those are completely different strategy points, and we got to meet up at certain points. Like, it's, oh my god, it's so bad. So yeah, I'll probably be there on Thursday. I don't know about the other days though. I don't. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Geek Fort Lewis, schooling even the trolls. You are the real MVP. Well, thank you. I actually liked MVP in WWE. Let's see. Comic book. How would a comic book... Mark says, I wonder how a comic book writer would react if they were asked about the flaws in some of their work. One of the things that comic book writers who I know actually they like when somebody brings up the flaws in their work. There's literally only a couple of there's a couple of people who just don't like it at all. I'm not going to name any names. There's a couple of people who don't like any kind of feedback whatsoever. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But for the most part, I think that most of these guys really like getting feedback. They just want it done without, because it's not feedback if somebody's saying you suck and they're ripping their stuff up. Like, that's just ridiculous. But in a more human fashion, they like the feedback. You know what I'm saying? They like it when you say, I didn't really like this part so much. Then they can be like, okay, well, I did it because of this, this, and this, and you're going to see where that comes into play in about 10 issues. Literally, it's going to come back. So by the end of this arc and after the next arc, that issue, that part that you just read that you said you didn't like is actually going to play a really crucial role. Okay, when I hear something like that, awesome. Now I'll keep that in mind, and then I can purposely keep that in the memory banks so that I can recall it later on when that trigger point actually comes up. It's like, oh, that suddenly makes sense now. I like that. That's like a cross-pollination of ideas, So, but still, sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I guess I can see how that didn't work out well. So they know not to do it anymore, like. I'm always surprised at how many people look at my reviews. Like, I still have the small channel syndrome in my head. I still imagine that I'm a really rinky-dink little channel because the only channels I see in my sidebars I'm putting stuff up are channels that are bigger than mine. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's always bigger than me, in my opinion. When I go back and I start looking at some of these people, it's like, oh, wow, I'm bigger than this guy now. I remember when he had twice as many subs as me. I remember when she had twice as many subs as me, And I was like, wow, I'm bigger than this guy now. Wow, when did that happen, All I ever see are the people who are bigger than me. So I always feel like I'm the small guy, you know what I'm saying? So when I find out that when I found out that Donny Cates watched my review, And he's like, hey, dude, I'd love to do an interview with you. Oh, what? You know? What do you call it? Oh, for crying out loud, why am I having a hard time remembering? Kelly Thompson. There we go. When I saw that Kelly Thompson had followed me on Twitter, I was like, what? She knows who I am? You know, saying like it was always it's a shock. You know, saying it's a real shock to the system to see stuff like that. When I see somebody, like when I saw Jim Zub started retweeting some of my videos, and it's like I don't even tweet my videos out. You know what I'm saying? I don't tweet my reviews out. I'll tweet that I did a review or that I'm going to do a review, but I don't actually tweet out my reviews themselves. So he went and watched my video and then tweeted it back. And like, you know, there's a couple people who'll do that. You know, I'll have people who aren't even in the comic business anymore, like Mike Mars. I think his name is Mike Mars. I'm going to know the name when I'm not thinking of names anymore. But like he contacted me on my email. I'm like, holy crap. He's like, dude, you're fighting the good fight. I love what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're right about certain things and such, but you're taking a more intelligent approach and a more mature approach to such like, holy crap. Like, these people know who I am. That was actually that's a huge confidence builder, you know, in what I do. So I love seeing stuff like that. You know, obviously, who wouldn't, right? But like that's so my understanding of them has shifted now. While I didn't have any opinion of them except, oh, they did good work here, they didn't do great work there, here's a mixture of both, and things like that. Now I'm actually getting to know these guys as people. And that is tremendous. Plus, and I think that if anybody had that interaction, it's hard for someone to get to know someone and still call them a jerk. You know what I'm saying? So like the idea of, you know, that oh, for crying out loud, Mark Waid. I had to go back and look at my Kingdom Come comic box to know like what the heck was his name. There's his, okay, I'm getting his face in my head now. There we go, Mark Waid. The idea that the Diversity in Comics dude had an actual private conversation with Mark Waid and still says those mean things about him. Wow. Like, what kind of an inhumane... He goes around calling people sociopaths. I actually studied sociology. I actually went to school for psychology. I dropped out and I switched the credits to sociology, but like I actually studied that stuff. You want to know what a real sociopath is? Pot calling kettle black. Just saying. So yeah, that's always weird for me to see stuff like that. But getting to know these people as people, getting to know some of their likes, their dislikes, the things that they're shooting for, you know, some of their goals in the comic books, whether they're writing or drawing them or both in some instances, that's amazing to me. That's amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to not repeat what some people say, because like there'll be people like, listen, I'm telling you this, but please don't tell people this. Oh, man, you got me sitting on a real Easter egg here. Fine, I won't say anything. But then when it happens, I'll be like, he told me a month ago. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool because it gives me that perspective that I didn't have prior. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as what a comic book writer would react if they were asked about the flaws of some of their work, I think you'd be surprised at how open-minded so many of these writers and artists are. You know what I'm saying? It must be a humbling experience in many ways. I've never actually asked this question directly, but it must be a very humbling experience to ask somebody, or, you know, to say, what do you think of my work? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gotta be. Wow. But I guess we all do, even in retail, right? When I used to work in Costco, when I was off the forklift, I couldn't do the forklift too often when the store hours were open. I was usually working when the store was closed. I was on the forklift all the time, but I would be there sometimes during the day, and I would go and work on the produce department. And I would set up something, and then, I would have to ask a manager, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? I did this the way that you told me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, actually, I kind of wanted this and this and this. We all open ourselves up for criticism. Or, listen, here's the deal. I know you told me to do this, but I did it like this. Okay, based on other things that you've said, what do you think? The guy might just turn around and say, okay, listen, jackass, I said do it like this, fix it. You just put your heart on your sleeve and it kind of got shot off of your shoulder, So we all put ourselves out there in some ways, and I don't think that they're any different in that regard. So there's that. What do we got here? Let me... Thank you guys for retweeting my tweets. I appreciate that. And let's keep this guy open right here. Oh yeah, also a bunch of guys, a bunch of people telling me that Mr. and Mrs. X is an ongoing. You were right. I was wrong. I actually asked Kelly Thompson, and she was like, oh yeah, it's ongoing. It's like, okay, I've got some apologies to make. So yeah, you guys were right. It is actually an ongoing. I saw part 1 of 5, and I just thought, oh, it's another one of those 5-issue series. Fine, but no, it is actually ongoing. So that's cool. Magic Man 2409 Jersey checking in. What's going on, North J? And let's see, industry, not university. Comic book university. Comic book university. There's the comic book industry, but I'm comic book university. I know, I'm just playing around. Let's see, what do we got here? I'm off on the far end of comic book demographics. Counterclaim, they'll be writing adults like 30 to 40 years, grown adults like damn Spider-Man. Adults like 30, yes! Yes, I know that. Whatever. People are trying. Red Black Cane. They're trying. Mark Guerrero. The only diverse characters I can think of that have little or no haters are Jamie Reyes and Miles Morales. Right? Gee, people who completely cover their identities up when they're in their secret hero identities. Imagine that. Brevin Campbell. And that's one of the things. A lot of people. Why do they have to take the names of established heroes? Okay, chill. This is not the first time that's ever happened. It won't be the last time. Okay, it's been happening so many times. Come on. How many people have portrayed Captain America? How many people? I'm not talking about just Sam Wilson recently or Bucky before that. No. How about John Walker, who would become the U.S. agent way back when? You know what I'm saying? Lots of people have taken the mantle of Captain America, like way back in the day, like in the early '80s and so on. When James Rhodes took over for Iron Man, you know what I'm saying, instead of Tony Stark, why are they going to have this black guy taking over for? Because it's good for the story. Shut up, duh. We've had characters who are, it's funny because my wife just pointed out recently. Most of you guys know my wife is actually African, not African American, not African. She's African. And she, I was pointing out Storm, and I gave her the Diamond Select Storm that I had because I got this version of Storm instead with the Mohawk that just came out recently. And I was talking with her sister about characters, and there's been characters like Storm, blah, blah, blah. And my wife goes and points out to me, but what's funny is, she has pure white hair, and it's straight. It's pure straight. How many black girls do you know who have naturally straight white hair? Oh, shoot. See, I could never even fathom a thought like this. Black women usually have Misty Knight hair, not Storm hair. You know what I'm saying? So even then, it was like a gentrified version of a character. I still love Storm. Storm's about as badass gets. You know what I'm saying? But not my point. My point is, even then, some of those characters, so it's funny when people say, oh, not like my comics. You don't have any comics. You don't have any comic books. You read a very specific number of comics when you were a kid. You definitely didn't read all the comics. You didn't really expand very far. You definitely didn't. Like Paula was just talking about recently. One of the most diverse comic books in the history of comic book creation was when Green Arrow and Green Lantern teamed up. You know what I'm saying? Brevin Campbell, DC and Marvel should release digital sales too. They do, especially since realistically digital is the future. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that at all. Caleb, Professor Thorgy actually works at a comic book store and he knows Marvel is selling as a fact after is selling more. I guess you're saying he's selling more. Professor Thorgy. I know of Professor Thorgy, but there's like 2 people named Professor out there besides me, right? There's Professor Thorgy and another professor, I think. Crap. And I can't take the time to watch these guys, otherwise it's that much less content I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying? Plus, my content might start looking like theirs. So I understand they're not watching my stuff. I think they understand I'm not watching their stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, yes, Professor Thorgy. I don't know how big he is. Maybe if I start getting bigger, like, I think he's bigger than me. If he starts getting, if my numbers start increasing, maybe I'll ask him, do you want to do a collab? But right now, like I said, I got the small YouTuber syndrome, so no. I'm not gonna, hey, can we do a collab because it'll benefit me? Like, no. Let's see if we can do something mutual. Catching up on Shadow Man, still loving the series, dude. That issue 6 review comes out tomorrow. Yeah, I finished all my reviews on Friday, edited them and everything, had them all set up to come out. Like, I'm so happy right now. I just have to finish editing on my 10 Things About. That's going to come out on Tuesday, and then just start working on a bunch of those. Yes, and then I've got a whole bunch of Marvel stuff that I need to do. A bunch of Marvel superheroes game stuff that I need to do. Justin Corbett, what do you like better, Avengers, Jason Aaron's run, or Justice League Snyder's run? Okay, right now, on my own, I like Jason Aaron's run on Avengers much better because I can understand what's happening there. As far as and them fighting these dark celestials isn't something where it's like it's a trap that's opened up. This is just the latest threat that's come to threaten Earth, and they're dealing with it and move on, so forth. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit campy with them growing in certain ways and fighting that way. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a very temporary. It literally only happened in one issue. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? They're dealing with a threat, and then they're going to continue with the story. With DC and Justice League right now, I was really scared. Like, honestly, I was speaking mostly from a point of fear and doubt because these are characters who I love and respect, and I want to see more of a Tom King-esque move with Batman, that he's not front lines fighting against cosmic superheroes, because that's just silly to me. He needs to be more grounded, in my personal opinion. Some people are going to disagree with me. That's cool, man. That's cool. But I like the idea of having a more grounded Batman. The only thing that tricked me up with Tom King was the freaking wedding that never happened. It's a wedding issue. There's no wedding. How do you call it a wedding issue? It was the wedding issue. Okay, stifle. But too much is happening in DC, and it's too fast. It's too much. It's too much. And the Source Wall is broken. The Source Wall should have never been broken, my opinion. Like, it's too much. Because then where do you go after that? Literally, in my opinion, the only place you go after that is another reboot of the entire universe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so tired of the freaking reboots. I'm so sick. I've got reboot fatigue, crisis fatigue with DC. So there's that. But then I did see a bunch of people were pointing out that Benny, comic historian, had an interview with Snyder. Lucky bastard. And it was a really awesome interview. And I wish that I had the cojones to actually ask Scott Snyder, would you do one of those interviews with me? Because I would ask him totally different questions. You know what I'm saying? But that's I just don't feel it's my place, and I don't have whatever. I don't have the balls to ask them. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's not my place to be asking people for interviews. Not yet. Maybe when I get bigger, maybe when I get to like 10,000, maybe I'll start actually consider asking people to do interviews, as opposed to, hey, guess what? The only person I ever asked for an interview was Jim Starlin, and even then I was terrified doing that, because I'm like, if he shoots me down, and literally the only thing I could think of was, I'm a guy. You know how many times I've gone to a dance or a club or whatever and just talking about, hey, what's going on? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? And just, doing pretty good, and walk away. Do you know how many more of you there are out there? But then asking people for interviews, it's like I'm completely out of my element. You know what I'm saying? Asking a girl on a date is so much easier to me than asking somebody for an interview. Because I figure, because my experience is, if I ask a girl for a date, it's like, No. Okay, fine. I'm never going to talk to you again. We're never going to see each other again. So if I ask a comic book person, like a writer or an artist, writer or an artist or anybody in the comic book industry for an interview, and they say no, it's like, well, I'm cut off from this person forever. You know what I'm saying? So so I don't want to ask people for interviews. Anyhow, but watching that interview with Scott Snyder was eye-opening, because he points out, he's like, oh no, I purposely threw everything in the beginning. So everything came at you in the beginning, and then we'll start answering questions after, which is exactly what I said. If you watched my reviews, exactly what I said needs to happen. Like, this is too much, too soon, too fast, too much. It's an overkill. This totality arc, it's overkill right now. I can't keep up. I don't understand what's going on. I'm completely out of the loop with what's going on here. Once again, they took Superman off the table. They always do that. Let's take Superman off the table. Let's have all these bad things happen. But then Superman's going to wake up and come in and solve all the problems. I've seen that story before. And I don't care what the bad guy of the week is, what the flavor of the week is. I've seen that story before. But listening to Snyder explain what he's actually doing with it, okay, I've got a lot more faith in his work again. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot more hope for the series. So there's that. The Superman syndrome continues. What do we got here? Joe Fisher. I like Jane Foster Thor. Can't believe some people wouldn't give her a chance. F them. They missed out. They missed out. Who do I like more, Donny Cates or Jason Aaron? That's a bad one, because I want to say Donny Cates, but he's going to say, no, you have to like Jason Aaron more. And it's like, but I don't. But I am going to get to see Jason Aaron kicking some butt pretty soon with Conan. So if ever Aaron had a chance to go, above and beyond of what our expectations for Kate was, it would be with Conan. And I'm just saying, I would highly recommend everybody just buy issue 1 of Conan, just to see what's up with that. Just to see. Okay, let's highlight that, and then I'll scroll a little bit. It'll probably jump. Great, now it doesn't jump. Anyway, so thoughts on creative team for Conan. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. These are like, I saw on Twitter, Jason Aaron goes and points at it. He's like, oh yeah, man, here's my collection of Conan books. I'm like, he's read more Conan books than I have. I feel that we're in good hands right now. I believe that we're in very good hands. Plus, guys, I've mentioned on a previous podcast that Conan was purchased by Amazon. Jeff Bezos owns the TV rights to Conan right now. He wanted something that's going to compete with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, which they're saying now, isn't going to come out until like the middle of 2019, like May 2019 now. Sure, I'll just wait forever. They promised it was going to come out within a year after season 7 came out. Fine, I'll wait another year and a half for freaking season 9, season 8. Sure, why not? Anyway, with them doing that, and they're going to be starting off with the issue that was the most controversial. So the one that by issue I mean the story, the book that was what was it? The Frost Giant's Daughter, which the least amount of people liked. More people gave hate to that book than any of the other Conan novels. So if they're going to start off there, that basically translates to it's only going to get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome. And if they can make that particular series good, holy crap. So I'm loving it. I'm loving that idea. So there's going to be Conan TV show, Conan comic book. Boom. As long as there's no Conan TV show or comic cartoon again. Conan cartoon was not good. I'm just going to leave it there. Go watch Thundar the Barbarian. You want a good Conan cartoon. What's his name? Jim. Whatever, Jim Arpaio stuck in my head. Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby was actually involved in that. Okay. DC is getting stale with the same characters. Okay, I know where this is coming from. Should I jump a little bit? Hey, True Mate, what's going on, man? Diversity in comics. Oh, diversity for diversity's sake. We definitely need new characters, not rehash of stock value. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But again, that's Marvel playing the long game. That's the intelligent role. They could have played the long game while still paying attention to the short game. That would have been a better idea, instead of just throwing everything at us at one time. And apparently that wasn't planned. Like listening to Mark Waid on the Thought Bubble. And thank you to Comic Boom for pointing that podcast out to me. what do you call it? The blah 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 blah. Marvel didn't actually plan for that to happen. That was just a bunch of writers who was like, "Ooh, that worked. I'm going to do it too." So, yeah, that was just a lack of foresight on their part. Brevin, yeah, this started because Kamala and Miles and sold so well initially. This succeeds when you want to make it into a business. Exactly. It became an independent business plan, basically. Okay. And of course, all my stuff jumped. Okay. I lost a bunch of stuff. Sorry. So I'm going to start from here. Aggressively relaxing. What's up, dude? Are you reading Moon Girl yet? Yes, I am reading Moon Girl. I've been collecting a bunch of Moon Girl. I don't really want to do it on digital, but whatever. I'll do whatever I got to do. But for now, I have been actually collecting a bunch of issues of Moon Girl. And I am going to start. I think I'm liking it so much, the stuff that I am reading, I'm probably going to do multiple spotlights on stories for that just to catch up to the current run because it is actually really good. I'm surprised at how good it is. Whoa, Mark Guerrero. Tony Isabella doesn't think Static should be in the Black Lightning series because both can stand on their own. What do you think? Well, I agree. Plus, Static is Milestone. That's not DC. Granted, DC just bought Milestone, but when you have two characters who are the same character, basically, and one of them's younger, he's just going to wind up having a sidekick. No. Black Lightning's got daughters for that. He's got Thunder and Lightning for that. You know what I'm saying? And I still have to watch that TV show for crying out loud. But he's got Thunder and Lightning, his own daughters for that, and slowly passing the torch on to them. It's killing Tony because he had so much hope for what was going to happen in the future. And I feel like the guy just needs to make his own characters for like Image or just his own company at some point. He's got to just forget about these characters that he's done in the past and just make his own characters again, but where he's got creative control over them, full creative license, ownership. Because, yeah, the guy's like really beating himself up right now, and that kills me because I love Tony Isabella. His work is, you can't not like his work. I don't understand how somebody couldn't like his work. If we keep talking about that guy, we're going to get an interview. You talking about Dick? It's your boy Dick. Yeah, right? No, I don't really want an interview. Hey, Professor, I made it in. Timo Harry, what's going on, dude? Swelling and all. What's up? Yeah, how's your hand, man? Jeez. Oh, man, it's like with his nose. Like, okay, get in here. Like, I love you, man. Seriously, speedy recovery, dude. Miss Y. Hello, Miss Y. When is Kelly Thompson going to do an interview with you? If Miss Thompson wants to do an interview with me, I would love to do an interview with her. I'm not familiar with a lot of her older stuff. I feel like maybe I should at least read the first volume of the Kate Bishop series where she was with Hawkeye. I never read that, and people are like praising that. But the stuff that I have read of hers, she's got her thumb. A lot of people say they got their thumb on the pulse of the industry. If you ever took CPR, or when you studied in the military, first aid, you don't actually want to use your thumb because you got a pulse in your thumb, so you can actually confuse the two. So that's just me being silly, but like she's definitely got a finger on the pulse. I love her writing style; it's fantastic. I don't know, man. And like, it's hard for me to really label it because it's unlike anything I read before. Usually I'm just like, I don't care about people's relationships in comic books. That's me. I've never given two squirts about somebody's relationship in a comic book. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? I would read comic books when when Gambit was finally introduced and he's hitting on Rogue. I'm like, they're going to do it. Cool. And I never once thought about them getting married because I didn't care. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I'm a wrestling fan. That's a male soap opera. You know what I'm saying? Women's soap operas. I used to watch that with my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? I used to sit and watch General. She loved General Hospital. She loved all of them. So I'd sit there and I'd watch. I remember like Sonny. Sonny was awesome because he's your typical, Sicilian mobster guy. I can relate. And he's just, he's working this and he's working Port Charles, I think was the name of the city they were in. And just like all the different people. Oh, Jason was his right-hand man. You know what I'm saying? That was his main capo. He was like his hitman. You know what I'm saying? Jason Todd? I don't think it was Jason Todd. But anyways, Jason something. And like these guys would run Port Charles. You know what I'm saying? They would run the General Hospital TV show. I was like, okay, I can get into this stuff, whatever. But then they would always get into the relationships. I'm like, I don't care about the relationships. When's Sonny going to kill somebody again? I just didn't care. But then all of a sudden the wedding issue happened, issue number 30 of X-Men Gold. And I was like, okay, that was really freaking sweet. And my understanding from it is that Kelly actually had a lot of say in that happening because they knew, like I said, that it's having Peter and Kitty get together is not going to be the same. It's just not going to be this huge thing. I think that if Cypher and Kitty got together, that would be a shock. That would be a shock, and it'd be like, oh wow, here's these two best friends who oh my god, wow, really? Granted, Cypher's not in a great place right now. You can thank Charles Soule for that. He's doing his own thing with him, and I love what he's doing with him, so he's not in a good position. But, like, all of a sudden now, like, with Mr. and Mrs. X and what's going on there, and especially the one that happened before that, the Rogue and Gambit 5-issue limited series, like, oh my god! How is this so good? How have I never read stuff like this before and said, oh, like, I'm literally, like, I'm just getting old. I'm 43 now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just getting old. I'm becoming a softie. I've seen a bunch of chick flicks, you know what I'm saying, when I was younger. And I'm just like, what Paula made fun of me. And she's like, oh, you're going to get your Jennifer Aniston or your Meg Ryan fan card in the mail. Ah! But, like, I'm down. And, like, I actually like this. And I'm being an idiot right now. My wife is actually kind of sick, so I'm hoping she's got the door closed and she can't hear me. Like, oh, hey, where's, Paula's here. Where's, for crying out loud. She hasn't talked to me in like a week. I think she's mad at me. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the frick? Sue-Ann, jeez. Where's Sue-Ann at? Edge of Comics. I haven't seen her on here. That's not cool. But anyway, both of them had told me before. Now I can't even remember where my thought was since trying to remember her name. I'm so bad with names. I'm so bad. I'm like notoriously bad with names. But anyway, long story short, I would love to do an interview with Kelly Thompson. I would absolutely love to ask her, like, how the hell was she able to hypnotize me into liking this stuff? Like, was I waterboarded and then suddenly like made to forget this stuff through hypnosis? Like, why, how was I suddenly conditioned to like this stuff? Because I shouldn't, I've never liked chick flicks before, not like that. And I know she did. I take a little bit of exception. It's more like a romantic comedy. That's what guys call chick flicks. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but that's what guys call chick flicks. But yeah, I would absolutely love to have a sit down interview with her. That'd be great to have like a Skype interview or something like that. What do we got? Absent-minded professor. Yes, Edward Brewer. I sometimes do get a little bit like that. What do we got here? Battle Rapper D. I love the name, dude. I never battle rapped, but yeah, I used to do freestyle rap when I was younger because I grew up in it was a big white boy term. Bad neighborhoods. That's what my parents used to always call them. So yeah, I learned how to rap, freestyle rap. So yeah, we can do it. Caleb, you, Professor, are the real comic book reviewer, an objectionist, and a lot more mature. Muchos gracias. Bene grazie. These losers like this guy and D&C are just man-child losers that preach false narratives. Like it's just the idea of trying to get people to like their stuff, but it's what's the term? I just said it before. It's projection. People like this, it's projection. When you're a weakling and you're willing to follow someone who may be kind of nefarious. You may have, underhanded schemes in mind. He may be a scumbag, but you're willing to follow this person because he at least exudes an air. It might be total bravado. It may be totally like debaucherous. It's false. It's a lie. It's not real, but he exudes the idea of an aura of confidence. I'm going to use the term that they always use. The beta cucks like to gravitate towards these kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? These people are idiots, but they follow them because it's like, oh yeah, they're strong. I'm going to stand by this. It's like a dog. It's like a dog. A lot of people like to think I'm going to get an attack dog because I'll feel strong with a dog. I like cats. I don't feel a need to have a dog, a big guard dog, an attack dog, a big rah Fido kind of dog. I don't need that. I'm a big guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll protect my cat. I'll protect my family. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a big dog to make a lot of noise and to gnash his teeth in the night, to seem like, oh, you want to mess with me? I got a guard dog. That you want to mess with me? I got a me. You know what I'm saying? So like that sort of thing, that I'm going to get a big dog mentality is for weaklings. That's for what they like to call. I don't usually say things like beta. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say all the time. But then when you see them, when you hear them, when you see their fat, out-of-shape fingers or their skinny little, I'm having a hard time ripping this thing, fingers, it's like, you look like an emaciated freaking man-child. You know what I'm saying? Sunken eyes. Some of them look like they're actually in the sunken place. Some of them are in the sunken place. And the idea is like you're a weakling, but you're trying to project yourself as strong by indicating that other people are weak. That's not the way that real life works, and it only works for so long. So calling other people names, I've always grown up with the idea, if you need to insult someone in an argument, you've already lost. That's like somebody who's like, can I talk? 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 Can I talk now? Can I talk? Dude, oh my God, you can have the whole floor. You're not intelligent enough for me to have a conversation with you at this point. You literally have nothing to say, which is why you keep saying the same thing over and over again. Most of the time, you'll find an intelligent person can talk over or with or under whatever another intelligent person, and intelligent people can follow that conversation, both conversations. It's not that hard. So that's what these people are. They insult other people. They call people names. They'll sit there and say, oh, I never said that. It's the internet. We can find everything that you said, right? So, yeah. Just, the silliness, the level of silliness, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Sayin, what's up, Sayin? Just helped my father move all day. What's the topic for this podcast? Sorry, bro. You're already in it now. You're already in it. Is that Superboy or Red Sun shirt? No, this is Superboy. This is Superboy. I was out in the park yesterday. I was wearing the shirt for like 2 days now. Yesterday, I was actually out in the park. I was just sitting down like the whole time, chilling out. My kids are playing. A bunch of other kids are out there playing. And there's one older kid. He's got a Superman shirt on. And we're playing the game, what's lava? This is, the floor is lava, the swing set is lava, the seesaw is lava, the basketball, hoop is lava, everything is lava, right? Or everything except for such and such is lava. So they have me calling it out. I'm like, okay, fine. So like everything except for the Superman shirt is lava. All these kids come over and they start putting their hands on me, like on my shirt. I'm like, what are you doing? Including the kid with the Superman shirt is like, what are you doing? 2 things. 1, this isn't Superman. This is Superboy. 2, what are you wearing? It's like, oh! Too late! Y'all burned up in lava. Like, what are you freaking doing? JJB, a fellow Gambit fan, linked to DNC's review of RNG1. Rogan Gambit #1. Oh my God, it was so bad. Beginning with the title of the video, he kept saying SJW for everything. Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, whatever, man. Whatever. That's the thing. I don't have a huge liking for actual SJWs also, but these actual SJW means someone who stands on their little platform and just blasts you for every stupid little thing. You didn't say this right. Oh, I don't like the idea that you spoke before a person of color or before, a person of a different gender. I don't like that you're not supposed to use that word. Oh my God, enough with the thought control. We're never going to get any damn ideas across if you don't shut your freaking mouth with the whole, this and this and this and this and this. Shut up. Can we just actually have a conversation? And then afterwards we'll have that conversation that you're talking about and maybe arrange what was I going to say? Like an agenda, an addendum, you know what I'm saying? But right now, can we just get some ideas across? Maybe, please? Trying to freaking rule over conversation because somebody said something other than the word that I want to use. Shut up. Shut up. That's an SJW. You know what I'm saying? But like the thing that kills me about people like DNC is when they get in their rants about, okay, so this comic book follows all the typical SJW tropes, and I'm going to teach you once again all of the SJW tropes so that you can follow along. Because like come on, man, like you want to talk about an agenda when you're teaching people what not to like about comic books. That's an agenda. But again, they're all about projecting because they don't have any real sense of self. They don't have any real sense of self-identity. So they always project their own weaknesses on somebody else. Weakness. I've actually got an interview that I've got to go to online in exactly an hour, so I can't keep going with this. And I definitely want to change. I definitely want to change up a little bit. So let's try and blow this thing through. Okay, Power to the People. What's up? Love the name, dude. Every time I see like the symbol and the name, I'm like, I grew up on Public Enemy. So Streaks 93. What's up, dude? The Comic Skaters guys are nutshells in their own world. Oh yeah. New Outsiders comic was announced. Mark Guerrero. Yes, I saw that, and I can't be more happy. Miss Y. Oh, laugh out loud. It's not. It's 5 for the honeymoon thing, and Mr. and Miss X apparently. Yeah. It was 5 for the honeymoon, and I love the honeymoon. But they also had one before. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, they're just doing that, and then they're gonna continue ongoing. Henry Pierce Bill, I have you on TV. Oh, can you say hi to the kids? Memphis, Bristol, and Henry. It'll blow their minds. Okay, let's see if I kind of already did, but Memphis, Bristol, Henry. What's that? You guys remember What's Up? Like that was a really old commercial, but it was really funny. I also like the old doobie doobie doo, beware of the penguin. Those were the best commercials. So what's up, guys? Somebody's been forgiven by JJB. Cool. Aggressive reaction. Check out the Squirrel Girl Twitter. You tweet a picture of Squirrel Girl and she will tell you its name and a fun fact. Okay, I don't know how that works. On Twitter, for crying out loud, Nerditor Doug from the Nerderkey channel, he said that there's a Motherbox thing where on Twitter where anytime that you type like hashtag Motherbox or something, it'll do the ping like that, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. But I tried it, it doesn't work. Highly unacceptable. Highly unacceptable. Big fan of Jane Foster Thor. Battle Rapper D says, argue it's better than the current run. Right now it is better than the current run, but I have faith that it's going to get better. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the current run right now at all. But, yeah. Basically, Donny Cates asked me to continue. Well, he didn't ask me to. It wasn't like that. But he basically said, no, you should keep reading it. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll read it. So I'm still reading it and reviewing it. Love the Captain America story arc when John Walker replaced Steve. Oh, wow, so this is really far back. All right, Power of the People. Max Trevor, change is good. If they don't like it, don't worry. None of it is ever permanent. Exactly. Michael Louisel, what's up, Professor B? What's up? Dude, you would love Thorgy. Oh, yeah. No, I like Thorgy. Are you saying Thorgy's like me? I murder you for that. How dare you? Plus, Thorgy's a girl. Stop it. You're hurting my feelings. I'm being triggered. Oh, my God. What are your thoughts on what went down with James Gunn? I think that he was robbed. I think it was absolutely ridiculous. I thought that it was stupid, about as stupid can get. He did say these things a long time ago. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, it was stupid. He was trying to be edgy. But, as mean as it sounds, it's something he was able to get away with 10 years ago. He got away with it. Disney knew about it. We all knew about it. I didn't know about it, but like the idea is that people knew about it, and it's just like, okay, he's just trying to get attention. Well, now trying to get attention like that is a really bad thing in the SJW verse. You know what I'm saying? So they decided to call him out for it. And it was really just a bunch of right-wingers who did it because they wanted to get revenge on the idea that, what's her name? Roseanne Barr was booted. And meanwhile, Roseanne Barr ran for a political party under the, was it as a progressive or some kind of a Democrat? You know what I'm saying? She ran as a Democrat for the longest time. So, like, what? People are just stupid. People are stupid. Agree with the source wall. Yeah, this is really. Yeah, now we got the strength still in stage forces. Okay, sorry guys, I'm going to go down a lot more. I'm sorry if I'm missing a bunch of people. I'm really sorry, but like I really, yeah, I need like moderators who can help me out with stuff. That's what I actually got to start doing. Excuse my lack of knowledge, but what is SJW? The social justice warrior, Jeff Duarte, and I did just explain it. Oh, and Raven just did also. Yeah, it is kind of a. Oh, Comics Misexplained, what's going on? Yes, the Bud Ice Penguin. I love the Doobie Doobie Doo, man. When he stole the Stanley Cup, that was the best ever. It's like, tell me, he did not just steal the Stanley Cup. Like, oh my, and again, these are stupid people. Like, look, I don't drink beer. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink alcohol. I'm straight edge. And it's not because I'm uppity or anything like that. It's because I've got my own reasons for not wanting to drink alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's that. That's all there is to it. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. It's literally all about me. I have no interest in drinking alcohol because, you know, like family issues. You know what I'm saying? I have a father who is an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see stuff like, I don't want to see myself potentially fall down that hole. And I've been to plenty of AA meetings with him when I was a kid. And these guys tell me on the side, you're an alcoholic too. I'm like, I'm an alcoholic? And then explaining to me what it actually means. Like, yeah, okay, shoot. Okay, I guess that means I'm an alcoholic. So I have to avoid this, you know, I have to keep this disease in check. And the best way to do that is to never take a sip. You know what I'm saying? And I did drink when I was a kid. Like, my father let me drink when I was, the last beer I had was a Meisterbrow when I was 13 years old. I had a beer and a half, a can and a half of beer. He was totally cool with me going to the refrigerator from 12 on and just, Go ahead, man. You know I keep beers in there. He was totally cool with it, but I had to come to understand that I could potentially fall into this also. Stuff runs in the family, is what it is. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have a straight shot of vodka. I'm joking. This is water. And yeah, so I'm just not interested. But meanwhile, then you got a bunch of morons who are like, oh, those frogs, the Bud, why? Zer, frog. No, we have to get rid of them. They're too cute. They're making people want to drink beer. That's like saying that people, when you go to McDonald's and somebody says, hey, would you like to supersize that meal? That, you know, oh, I'm compelled. The body of Christ compels me. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Don't get a beer if you don't want a beer. Don't let frogs make you get a beer because they say Budweiser. Okay? Don't. Just don't. So taking these guys off TV was just so ridiculous. I loved those stupid commercials. I looked forward to those commercials. A part of me died when those commercials died, man. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, I was forgiving you when you said other people were telling you Mr. and Miss X is ongoing. Oh, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. And it just jumped again. Come on, man. Oops, last call. Joe Fisher says, Halloween. One Halloween I was in a bar. Last call, this girl comes up to me dressed like a penguin and took one of the beers singing the song. That's awesome. I would totally be like, dude, here you go, man. It's all yours. Hey, hold on. You know what? Let me get you another one. That's great. That is freaking great. Yes, Mike Cernovic. That was the moron who went and said that stuff. And he said the worst things imaginable. But oh my God, and there's the perfect proof. That's the projection that I'm talking about from weak people. He actually had all these things up about rape is okay, and what else did he say? He was propagating the idea of pedophilia. That's all that this Cernovic guy has ever done. So then what does he do? He turns around and he projects on other people. And James Gunn was just the latest. You know what I'm saying? He's still doing it to other people, apparently. He's been doing it to other people. That's what he does. Because he knows that there's something wrong with him on the inside. You know? Oh, geez, we've seen stuff like this. Oh, this is going to sound really mean. And I'm sorry if anybody takes offense to this, because I'm not talking about all religions. I'm not talking about any one particular religion. There are certain religious people who know that they have a crux, and they tell other people, you can't do this and this and this. Actually, people can, if it's not illegal, you know what I'm saying? If it's not something that's just, you know, absurd, then yes, they can. You can't. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's your religion. Stop trying to force your religion on other people. Like, that's not freedom of religion if you're trying to force your religion on other people. You're not saving someone. Just stop. Religion should be personal. Religion should be personal. I've got my religious beliefs. Everybody's got their own religious beliefs. Keep it personal. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Mark Guerrero, what do you think are better, DC's Crisis events or Marvel's Infinity events? The Infinity events don't change the characters indelibly. So I'm going to have to go with the Infinity events. They're much better because I don't suddenly have to relearn a character. You know what I'm saying? My favorite beard on the internet. What's up? Daemonocracy. I love the name, man. So demons and the daemons are very similar to demons, just a little bit different. Anyway, so daemons are the ones that can be summoned. Demons can't be summoned. Let's see. Straight Edge here too. JJB. Cool. You, me, and CM Punk. Dick Fillmore. I smoke enough cannabis for everyone here. What's going on, Dick? How you doing, man? Levi Butler. Can't wait for King Thor, future Thor, to be... Yeah, that's right. He's coming out next... Is that this week? Whatever. I think it's in 2 more weeks. Whatever. He's coming out, and they're going to have Phoenix Wolverine. That's going to be sick. Got to see what that's all about. And yeah, Christian Ward jumping on drawing from... I think Del Mundo was doing the art before. Am I wrong? Excuse me. Jeff Duarte, good for you, Professor. My father's an alcoholic, too. I refuse to drink alcohol, too. Yeah, that's just... Like, that's the thing. You know, like, I grew up in... here we go. Bad communities... where I've actually had a friend. He was kind of a partial friend. When I was an engineer, he was also an engineer. And he was like, I can't for the sake of the conversation, he's black. And he's like, you know, you're cool people, but I don't know just how cool you are. It's like, I don't know what you mean. He's like, my grandfather always said, you don't know a man unless you get drunk with him. Like, why would that? Why? I don't understand that. Because then you're sitting down, you're drinking a beer, and he's drinking a beer, and all of a sudden he says, you know what? You N-words are okay in my book. You punch him in the face, you get up, and you walk away. I'm like, oh, interesting. Yeah, you're probably never going to really know, I guess. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. I'm just not interested in doing that. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. It's not an insult. It's not meant to be like, you know, oh, I don't want to have a beer with you. Because I know that having a beer is like a major part of camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? I'll say to people sometimes, dude, you're ever in the neighborhood, I will buy you a beer. And I probably would, but I'll get milk in a dirty glass because, you know what I'm saying? I remember that from an A-Team comic book when I was a kid. Mr. T, Clubber Lang said that in one of the comic books. Anyway, so let's see. That's Cray. Viviclox X-Men, what's up? Up with hope, down with dope. Nice one. Democracy. What about Camel Joe? I don't know what Camel Joe is. Speaking of Straight Edge, did CM Punk ever write any comics? Yes, Jeff Duarte. He wrote the first issue he ever wrote. He wrote a 10-issue limited series of Drax the Destroyer, which is interesting because his best friend from the wrestling world is Dave Bautista, who played Drax. He wrote a Drax one-shot, I think, and he definitely wrote a Shang-Chi one-shot too. And that wasn't bad. He actually introduced a couple characters in the Drax series, so yeah, he's done a bunch of things. I'm sure he's going to do more too. But yeah, he's currently training up to do the MMA stuff. Whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him do more comic books. He hasn't done anything bad necessarily. JJB has a coworker who's super Christian. Went out to dinner with her husband. He was so condescending about me not drinking, and he was 10 years my junior, to add insult to injury. Cute. That's the thing. Like, I know we grew up in this country with the idea of, this country also. I'm American who lives in Canada. So both countries, I know we grew up with the idea of, nah, man, come on, have a beer with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me that we're cool. Show me that we're tight. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy you a beer, and you'll drink my beer, and we'll be best friends. Can we be best friends without the beer? Just because it's not meant to be an insult. It's not, you know. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, man. I don't know what to tell you. My people used cannabis for 10,000 years. No deaths. Don't believe the lies of the white man. I hear you, dude. And as a part Cherokee, very small part Cherokee, no, I agree. And yeah, like I don't like the idea of losing my senses or letting my senses go or expanding my senses. To be honest, I'm afraid of allowing something like that for me. I'm always not necessarily on edge, and that would probably help, right? But I don't like the idea of ever letting my guard down. I know it's really weird. It's a really weird thing. I just changed the hinges on my door, and they don't squeak at all now. So I don't have any way of hearing. I'll hear if somebody unlocks my front door. You know what I'm saying? How they get the key, I don't know. But I can't hear if somebody opens my front door now if I leave it unlocked, which is a little bit scary to me. So I'm actually planning on going out and buying like a little alarm. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those little, rinky-dink alarms I can just set up so that if the light beam ever gets interrupted. Just, it's weird, I know, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm weird like that. I need to know if somebody's ever going to open the door. You know what I'm saying? Wife's home, okay, but I know that you're home. And what do you call it? I would actually I was actually looking for it because now it's legal in Canada. I was actually thinking of getting like the drops, to put like 3 drops under your tongue, but the ones without like the THC and all that stuff. Yeah, I would absolutely do that because I do believe that there are, not even believe, I do understand from the studies that there's a lot of benefit to doing it. And yeah, no one has ever died in the history of creation by ingestion or whatever of cannabis. Nobody. So, yeah. Gunn said some sick stuff. Yeah, he did. Disney had to fire him. No, they didn't. Lionsgate probably would have kept it, just jumped. Damn it. I couldn't read the whole thing. Lionsgate probably wouldn't have, but Disney had to. No, Disney didn't have to. Disney could have been strong and just said, this was stuff in the past, grow up, people. I don't think it's that hard at all. That's personally me. Especially when you consider Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. Okay, and all sorts of stories like that. Plus, it's known that the founder, the creator of Walt Disney World, was Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney was a racist. He was a racist. That's something they've been trying to deal with for a while now. You know what I'm saying? So, if we can get over Disney, I'm sure we can get over Gunn. I'm just saying. So, yeah. Whatever. They didn't have to freaking fire him. The messed up thing was they were calling Gunn a pedo. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure that he's okay with it. Dick, I'm the same way with peace pipes. Let's see. Camel Joe was the cartoon Camel on Camel Cigarette. Oh, yes, I remember that. And the Marlboro Man. He was blamed for teens smoking. Yeah, I don't know. For me, cigarettes and alcohol are both poison. So I don't know what to tell you. But I'm also the geek who doesn't gamble. You know, so, like, you got to understand who I am. Like, I don't even gamble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trade in stock because I know I've studied enough economics in school. You know what I'm saying? Mostly finance classes, for business when I got my business degree. But I've studied enough finance and economics to understand that the stock market it's inflated, it's conflated, it's a scam. We don't need a stock market at all in any way, shape, or form. It's just a way of falsifying money and putting it out there for rich people. Because poor people could play the stock market, but they'll never be able to buy enough to actually make a difference in their budgets, and it's going to hurt them more if they lose stock, as opposed to rich people who also have insider trading information. So there's that. And as long as you're not a very successful female who needs to be put back in her place, like Martha Stewart, then you're never going to get in trouble for insider trading. You know what I'm saying? They just felt the need to put Martha Stewart in her place, I guess. How dare you? The world. Let's see. What do you think of X-Men roster and the Uncanny X-Men #1 cover art? I likes it. Sweat lodge. I'm going to put everyone here in a sweat lodge. I've actually been in a sweat lodge, and I've also been on a vision quest, and they were both amazing experiences. You might be surprised, for a guy who keeps to himself with religion, you might be surprised at how many religions I've actually gotten into. Gray CBD oil. I personally buy that. Really useful stuff. Good to know. Thank you, Gray. Welcome to the channel. Marvin Brown, what's up? You ever read Kill or Be Killed by Ed Brubaker? No, I have not, and apparently I have to change that. A lot of people have told me that. They have drops at the dispensaries in Toronto. Oh, okay then. I have to find a dispensary now. JT Gamer, what's up? Here's the contact. I pick up Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, a whole bunch of comic books. Black Panther, Tony Stark, Iron Man, Avengers. Okay, cool. JJB, Joe Camel is one of the most unappealing mascots ever, not just because he promoted smoking, but just on a visual level. Oh, he was. I remember that when I was a really little kid, man. I don't remember too much. Excuse me, of Joe Camel. The first time I ever paid attention to any kind of a character or whatever was Crocodile Dundee was in a beer commercial one time. And he was like, oh, yeah, so, I can't actually drink the beer in a TV commercial, but, commercial's almost over, right? 3, 2, 1, whatever. And he went to take a drink, and they ended it right there. And I was like, you can't, that's interesting. And then I actually went to business classes, and I learned about, when we were studying, like, ethics and laws in marketing. I learned stuff like that and other things, not just in America, but in across the world also. Like in Canada, you can't have something called best. Something best. You know what I'm saying? Like in Costco, they used to sell, maybe they still do, world's best socks. That's the name of the company. You can't sell them there under that name in Germany. It's illegal to say that something is the best. You'd have to be able to prove it. So, interesting. Vision Quest, the amateur wrestling movie. I love that with Matthew Modine and the song by Madonna. Yes, that was an amazing. Vision Quest was good. Yeah, and then she did another one also at around the same time. I can't remember what that movie was called. If I Live to Tell, I think it's called Live to Tell. I think was the name of that. Yo, Madonna was amazing back then, man. Madonna was amazing. True Blue. I used to sing True Blue in the shower when I was 12 years old. I don't care who knows. I don't care who cares. I used to sing True Blue in the freaking shower when I was a kid. I love that song, man. And can't pick up DC because don't understand the characters because would have booted the universe. Yeah, too many times rebooting the universe, man. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. But I also saw something before it bounced down. At Close Range with Sean Penn. Thank you, Jeff. Dude, you and Dick Fillmore need to have a conversation about movies, man, because you guys are there. You guys are right there. Really quick, somebody asked me about the change for Psylocke. Right now, I don't know. I never actually asked anybody else about anything. I never asked, Jim Zub about it or anything. But I am curious about the decision to change Psylocke back. Is she still going to have her ninja abilities? Because she shouldn't. If she's back in her original body, her body isn't conditioned for the stretches and, doing the splits and all the crazy contortionist type movements that she could do when she was in, what was her name? Kayana? I can't remember the name of the Japanese girl whose dead body she took over through the Siege Perilous. But since she's not in that body anymore, she shouldn't be able to move like she did before. So while she may have in her head to be able to do certain moves, Quanon, thank you, JJB. Quanon. I think that she shouldn't be able to actually physically do this. It's like I explained to somebody else before. If you're a weightlifter, you know how to lift weights. Your body's used to it. Your body's used to doing those particular things. But if you switch bodies somehow, then that body isn't conditioned anymore. So you may know how to lift weights, you may know the proper way to do it and everything, but you'll never be able to just right away go and start lifting the weights that you used to before. You have to build that particular body up now, and everybody's body is different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like. A lot of people say fat guy, go to the gym. Sometimes it's not their choice. I don't think anybody chooses to be fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just something, it's their genetics, it's their body types. That's like saying, hey, short person, get tall. Literally, there's like no difference. There's almost no difference. 90% of 88% of what we are is simply genetics. You know what I'm saying? Not sure, maybe because it was a moderate hit in the 80s, but used to wrestle in school as my anthem and inspiration. Nice. Yeah, I tried to go out for the wrestling team because I got kicked off the football team. Oh, I got kicked out of tryouts for the football team. Too violent. Grabbing somebody and throwing them to the ground is not violence. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to protect the guy with the ball who's on your team. That's it. So, holding somebody as opposed to shoving somebody. They got in less pain if I grab their shirt as opposed to ram my shoulder pads into their freaking face. I mean, come on. So I'm just going to call that a difference of opinion. That's what I'm going to call that. Hold this. So yeah, coach did not like me, but I was really good in track and field, shot put and discus. I sucked at the javelin and cross country. Man, those are my things. So okay, so Wolverine, Return of Wolverine number 3. Let me unplug this. I'm at full charge with the hot claws. Apparently, oops, let me open this up so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So apparently the hot claws are not going to be what we think they are. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing because I think a lot of people aren't happy with the idea of the hot claws. So Mr. and Miss X, issue number 5 with the Starjammer. So this is going to wrap up the original storyline. And then it's going to continue with issue 6 and so on. Different one. Like Brock Lesnar. What's going on here? Like Brock Lesnar. Because Captain America was Psylocke's old body back. I hate the idea of giving Psylocke her old body back. I agree, Street X. But we'll see. We'll see. At the same time, she might also be more powerful psychically. So that might be what... I almost said Jeff Lemire. Ed Brisson. That might be just what Ed Brisson wants. It's clear that Brisson and Zub were talking to each other, and Brisson was like, Zub, can you change her back in Madripoor? So we'll see what he wants to do with that. Are you a Marvel guy or a DC guy, and what do you think about comics right now? I think Marvel hit its stride in a few months. It has, Marvin Brown, but I'm not a Marvel guy or a DC guy. I'm a comic book guy. I'm in it for the comic books, and I don't have favorites. I'll have a favorite comic book, a favorite writer, or a favorite artist, but as far as a favorite brand, I'm not going to limit myself like that. I love the idea of, impress me. Make me like this one more. Make me like that one more. Oh, shoot. I just shouldn't have covered that. Batman in November involves Penguin somehow, despite him being shot by Jason Todd. Yeah, that's actually going to be interesting. I have to go back and read that issue where Jason Todd actually shot and apparently killed the Penguin. I was told he didn't actually kill him. He did put the bullet through his eye, but somehow he survived. That's my understanding. But that's not from reading the comic book. That's from other people telling me. Yeah, Immortal Hulk issue number 9 versus the Absorbing Man. That should be fun. Avengers issue number 700. So they're going to go back up to the full titles, the full numbers again. Come on, guys. Enough with this. So, awesome. Oh, hello. Heroes in Crisis, number 3, Superman will fight Booster Gold in this. Yeah, and they keep on showing, what the heck is his name again? That's not Anarchy. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, somebody's going to say it before I can remember it, right? Yeah, I know. Artemis does have to return. She was just in Wonder Woman, so we'll see. What is this guy's name again? Not the Phantom, the pirate, Psycho Pirate. His name was Psycho Pirate. So, yeah, this apparently has something to do with Psycho Pirate, which is awesome, because there was a lot done with Psycho Pirate in Tom King's Batman. Iron Man number 7 cover. Oh, this actually kind of looks like a symbiote, doesn't it? Interesting. Yeah, Psycho Pirate, there we go. Thank you, Comics Misexplained, and Jeff Duarte, and Sean Sadrai. Jeez. Calm down, guys. I'm glad I had that 15-second delay, man. Superman issue number 5 is gonna. Oh, jeez, awesome. We're gonna have Zod is back with because they are in the Phantom Zone. So I'm sure that actually, but he's not in the Phantom Zone unless you know what. I don't know what Venditti just did with Zod in the issue number 50 of Green Lantern Corps. Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. So I don't know what's going on anymore. Oh, and the last one, Infinity War issue number 5. Holy crap. Okay, guys. Just look at how unbelievably sexy that is. Man, and don't forget to look that Ant-Man is up there in the corner. Loving that. But this is awesome. Woof. How you doing? All right. Booty kicking time, clearly. So, okay. Just reading some people's stuff. Okay. Aggressively relaxing. Deadpool is everywhere. He's in a Spider-Man cable in Louisiana, New York, and Denver. Weapon X, in space. Mr. and Miss X. Yeah. Daredevil is in too many places. That's actually why me and some of the other guys were like, Deadpool fatigue is a real thing. It's a real sickness. So, Streaks 93. I like the old Red Hood costume more than the new one, but I give it a chance. Yeah, I'm going to give it a chance also. I do love the idea of the actual red hood as opposed to a regular hood over top, but we'll see. We'll see. That's Loki's Cosmic Avengers. Oh, okay. Good to know, Sean. Gray. What's up, Gray? Looks amazing. Levi Butler, Immortal Hulk number 9. Makes me think back on the Black Bolt series. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking, too. I'm hoping that he's still a good guy, so to speak, in this. Joe Fisher. So they're going to kill off Deadpool, and then is that what they did to Wolverine? Yeah. Wow. So they're going to kill off Deadpool. I'd be pretty impressed if they killed Deadpool. Jeff Duarte, I'm going to read the entire 100-issue run of Tom King's Batman, even if it ruins my soul and melts my face like Raiders of the Lost Ark. I must complete this mission. I kind of feel the same way. I would really appreciate if I could have a conversation with Tom King, though. You know what I'm saying? Live, not live, whatever. I would love to be able to sit down and just have a conversation with him and see, like, what exactly, not exactly, but what in general are you planning in the future? I don't want a single spoiler. I just want to know, because like everybody, you know, if I have an interview, I'm going to ask for spoilers. I'm not really interested in spoilers. I want to know in general, what's your mentality going forward, you know? If you say more of the same, we're going to have words. Not really, but he wants Hulk's immortal Levi. Oh, okay, gotcha. Talking to each other. I enjoyed MMX too, but yeah, Deadpool took up too much space for me. I actually really like Deadpool in Mr. and Mrs. X, issue number 2. I really like that portrayal of Deadpool in there. I don't think that was too much at all. Also in Domino by Gail Kim. TNA Wrestling, anybody? Impact Wrestling, anyone? But Gail Simone. I really liked his portrayal in there. It wasn't overly too much. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like overt Deadpool. It was just Deadpool. Here's some. Okay, let's move on now. I thought that was perfect. It wasn't like, you know, here's a full injection in the neck of the Deadpool entropine. Streaks 93. I thought they were going to give Wolverine the adamantium, the god metal, and make him more badass. Sick. You know what? I don't know. Who knows? Let's see what... Charles Soule apparently had all this stuff mapped out a long time ago, so we'll see. We'll see. Marvin Brown, who's still waiting for Shazam to return to the comics? Show of hands, because here I am. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to wrap that up. I got 15 minutes to get ready for AJ Styles does roll, but he's in WWE now. Universal Champion, baby. The guy's awesome. No, he's not the Universal. He's the SmackDown Champion. But anyway, so I got 15 minutes. I got an interview for another job not in China, but like teaching in China from my home computer. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go and get ready for all that stuff. So, yeah. All right, guys. So I'm out. Thank you so much thank you for the good, yeah, peace out, word, love, peace, and hair grease, all that good stuff. Yeah, you guys have a good one. I am going to bounce now. And, well, yeah, look, I'm just going to bounce. All right, guys. Professor, but seriously, that's what I always say. Thank you guys so much for showing up. It would have just been me going blah, blah, blah if you guys didn't. So, much appreciated. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.